Most men are unaware that they are enslaved to something that is killing them in silence. They wake up, go through the rituals, and browse through their phones, giving up their power before they ever consider it. It's just a habit, right? Just a momentary relief. Only a little amount of stress alleviation. But what if I told you that each time you do it, you're making yourself less appealing to women and weaker? What if I told you that this one behavior is the cause of your feelings of invisibility, lack of motivation, and stagnation in your own life? Science has already shown it. If you don't believe me, stay put, because once you realize the harsh reality of how masturbation ruins your ability to attract women, you won't ever see it the same way again. Masturbation is rewiring your brain, killing your drive, and preventing you from becoming the man you were meant to be. There's a secret. Most men are unaware that women can detect when a guy is abusing his authority. They may not be able to articulate it, but they can sense it. The absence of presence and the lack of drive. The dullness in your energy, on the other hand, is something that women notice when a man is holding on to his energy. They feel the intensity in his gaze, the control in his posture, the unshakable presence in his demeanor, and the scary SC part. When you're constantly masturbating, you're depleting your life force energy, which is what makes a man magnetic, dominant, and attractive. Studies show that a man's testosterone levels drop significantly for up to a week after ejaculation, and testosterone is the hormone responsible for confidence, dominance, and not just muscle growth. When your testosterone is high, you move differently, establish eye contact as like you rule the room, and talk confidently and without hesitation. This is a risk-taking habit that appeals to sex. Women pick up on this instinctively. It's biological. They are wired to be drawn to men who exude power and control. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine a man who has just finished watching porn for the third time that day. He's slouched. His eyes are dull, his energy is low, and he carries himself like he's hiding something. Which man do you think women are naturally drawn to? Exactly. Think about the most high-value men in history, the conquerors, the innovators, the leaders. Do you think they were sitting in dark rooms, staring at screens, wasting their energy on meaningless pleasure number? They were channeling that energy into building empires, leading nations, and winning over the most desirable women. And that's what you need to understand every time you release. You're giving away the energy you should be using to conquer your own world. Men who retain their energy become sharper. They make better decisions. They dominate conversations. They move with purpose. Meanwhile, men who are constantly draining themselves become passive. They hesitate. They overthink. They become invisible to women. When you stop masturbating for a while, you'll notice that women start to look at you differently. This isn't a coincidence. Rather, it's because you're radiating the energy of a man who is in control of himself. When you maintain your energy, your presence changes and you become more driven, focused, and assertive. You stop worrying about pursuing women because you naturally attract them, and you stop elevating them because you see your own worth, which, paradoxically, is what attracts women to you since you've changed. Nothing is more sexy than those two. The hidden psychological cost of masturbation is the reason you feel empty after doing it. Not just physically exhausted, but also mentally, as if something inside of you just vanished. It's not just guilt or a passing shame. It's something deeper, a slow, creeping erosion of your power. You're not just another man looking for validation. You're a man on a mission. Society won't tell you this. They'll tell you that it's healthy and that it's just a way to relieve stress. But let's be honest for a moment. When was the last time you finished and thought, "Wow, I feel like a stronger man now"? Exactly. Because what they don't tell you is that masturbation isn't just a physical act. It's a mental trap that silently kills your drive, confidence, and ability to rule your life. Let's break it down. Your brain is wired for rewards. Every time you achieve something like winning at work, hitting the gym, or even making a woman laugh, your brain gives you a rush of dopamine, the neurochemical that drives motivation, ambition, and focus. But here's where it gets dangerous. Masturbation creates the appearance of victory without the real thing. When you watch porn and turn off your brain, it believes that you did it, won, and got the girl, when, in fact, you did nothing. Your ambition fades a little as a result, and the more you do it, the more your brain becomes accustomed to using cheap dopamine rather than striving for real life. Rewards cause your brain to crave the shortcut. Why work for something when you can just click a button and get the same chemical rush? But the catch is that over time, your brain adapts so that what once gave you a high now hardly moves the needle. So you chase more extreme content, longer sessions, riskier behavior, and all the while your real-life motivation is fading, your energy is depleting, and you're losing your edge without even realizing it. You notice how you feel different after going a few days without doing it. More focused, more confident, and more alive. This is because your body is clinging to something that most men throw away on a daily basis, your vital energy. Philosophers and emperors recognized this. They realized that Sean was more than just fluid. He was power, a real life force that, when preserved, made men stronger, more capable, and more in control. Modern research supports this. When you maintain your testosterone levels, your voice becomes deeper, your eye contact becomes more intense, women notice it, men respect it, and you start moving and thinking differently because you're suddenly not leaking your power. Most guys waste this energy by letting it run down the drain and then wonder why they feel exhausted and unmotivated, which is invisible to women. However, when you stop and hold on to it, that same energy doesn't go away. Instead, it gets redirected into everything you do, making your workouts more intense. Your concentration sharpens. Your presence takes on a magnetic quality. You go from being just another guy in the crowd to someone who commands attention without saying a word. Beyond the science, beyond the psychology, there's something even deeper at play here. Something that touches your very soul every time you indulge a small part of. You knows it's wrong. Not because of society, not because of some outdated moral rule, but because your inner warrior feels the drain. Masturbation doesn't just weaken your body, it weakens your spirit. It conditions you to seek pleasure instead of conquest, to escape reality, instead of dominating it, to become a spectator in life rather than a competitor. And that is the ultimate cost, because the more you give in, the more you train yourself to be comfortable with mediocrity, to accept a life that is less than what you're capable of. And if you keep going down that road, you wake up one day a shell of the man you could have been. But here's the good news. You can stop right now. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now, not because someone told you to, not because of guilt, but because you owe it to yourself to reclaim your power. You know deep down that you were made for more than these 3 reasons, which is why masturbation is making you feel weak, anxious, and depressed. Ever wonder why, after finishing, you feel empty instead of fulfilled? Or why something inside you feels like it was taken away? That's because your power, drive, and fire were taken away. If you've been wondering why you feel depressed, anxious, or even unmotivated, you might not realize that the silent culprit is your daily habit. Excessive masturbation rewires your brain in the worst manner conceivable, as research has already shown. Every time you view porn, dopamine is released into your brain, weakening your dopamine receptors over time. Significance of actual life. Nothing feels as exciting to you anymore because you become numb, unfocused, and detached from reality. You also find it difficult to focus and lose interest in things that used to motivate you. You feel as though you're always chasing an ephemeral feeling, And the worst part is that this cycle not only robs you of your happiness, but also weakens you. Ancient warriors, philosophers, and emperors cautioned against wasting energy because they understood that a man's seed wasn't something to be thrown away. Rather, it was his very essence. When you hold on to it, your body signals that you're in warrior mode, which requires you to be focused, aggressive, and sharp. However, when you release it frequently, your body says, "Oh, we must have already won. Let's relax. No need to fight. No need to conquer." And that's when the weakness sets in your drive. Your self-assurance suffers, and you become less inclined to take chances. The brutal truth is that every time you sit in front of a screen and watch other people experience pleasure rather than creating your own, you are conditioning yourself to be a spectator rather than a player. You feel strange and become passive instead of dominant, hesitant instead of assertive, but you are unable to explain why masturbation is teaching you to be a spectator in life. Instead of going out and conversing with actual ladies, consider it. Developing genuine relationships when seated alone with your eyes fixed on a screen and focusing all of your attention on pixels gradually destroys your social abilities. Now that Might Sting is here, utilize it as motivation rather than spending time trying to get her to like you and turn into a guy she can't ignore. Work out and make your clothes better. Begin interacting with new individuals. Start dating different women and, most importantly, discover a hobby that makes your life meaningful. When she sees you succeeding without her, she feels better, looks better, and, most importantly, other women want you. Then the switch switches in her mind because you're no longer simply the man who's always there. You're the person she forgot about, the one she could have messed up with, and when she knows she'll come. Pursuing you in the friend zone is a perception issue more than a chance one. Women friend zone guys because they don't feel that raw, unmistakable pull, not because they're not good enough. However, the instant you change the vibe, the minute you become less accessible, more enigmatic, and more valuable. At that point, everything changes. She must now earn your time and attention. After that, she will want much more than simply to be your buddy. This is a modern Stoic insights. Till the next time. Never allow yourself to be someone else's second choice. Be alert and focused.